Hey everybody, before we dive in today, I got something special for you. If you're looking to boost your mental clarity or improve your emotional wellness, make sure to stick around till the end because I have an exclusive offer for you for Magu. And I truly believe that what I'm about to share today will not only help you break out of emotional negative cycles, but can help you step into more peace and happiness in your life. And paired with Magu, I believe this can be even better. So let's get into it. What if I told you that our emotions like shame, anxiety, stress, they aren't just things that we feel and experience, but this is something that our body can become addicted to. No matter how badly you want to change, maybe your body or our bodies are working against us. And this was me. And what was hard for me is that I didn't even know I was addicted to shame. I would finish work projects, turn them in, and then as soon as I turn it in, tell myself, oh, you could have done better. And these thoughts made me feel shame. And I turned that shame into a source of fuel for myself. And before I even knew it, I wasn't just feeling this shame, but I was actually living it. I was becoming a person of shame. Shame became part of my personality, it became my whole reality. And today, I want to dive a bit deeper on my last video on emotional addiction, define it more clearly. Why do our bodies get stuck in these familiar cycles, even if they're bad for us? Can we see how these cycles can become part of our personality? So today I want to share with you what helped me break free from my shame and step into a better life. And as we get into this, I want you to ask yourself one question. Are you addicted to a negative emotional state? I ask you this because becoming aware of something is the first step to actual change. And what do I mean by emotional addiction? Our thoughts, they can create feelings, emotions in us. And this releases chemicals in our body, in our brain, and it makes us feel a certain way. So you can have a loving thought, and then your body produces chemicals to make you feel that feeling of love. Or you can have a stressful thought, and now all these stress hormones are released into your body. And here's how things get tricky is that as this happens time over time, whether it's love and good feelings, or whether it's stress or shame and bad feelings, our bodies memorize this feeling, these thoughts. And the more we think these things, the more we feel them, the stronger and faster, these neural connections, these chemical releases happen in our body, right? And over time, this can become our default state. So if you've been stressed for years, or for me, shaming myself for years, you don't even need to feel a reason to be stressed or shame. It just happens. Our bodies crave this chemical response that we've put ourselves through. It's like muscle memory, but for our brain, for our emotions. And I didn't realize that over the course of my life, I was training myself, my body to live in shame. And it started in high school. I used shame as a motivation. If things didn't go well in a sporting event or I failed a project, I tell myself, you're not good enough. You need to try harder. You need to work harder. And the shame, it would push me to work harder because I would want to prove it to myself that I could. It worked for a while, but year after year after year of doing this over and over again, I started to not only feel shame, but I became shame itself. It was my default state of being. I didn't know how to think or act differently, right? And here's the hard truth. Just like any addiction, the more we experience this emotion, the more our body actually needs to feel it, even if it feels bad. Our body and our brain adapt to things. So as we feel the shame over and over again, it starts to take more and more of that chemical for us to actually feel this. And that's why people with chronic anxiety or chronic stress, it feels like they're always stressed or it feels like they're always anxious. Even if things are fine with your life, the body is constantly just trying to feel that familiar state of anxiety or that familiar state of shame, whatever it may be. And at this point, our body starts to crave this. It starts to want it every single day, every single hour, the more and more we do this. And I know we've talked about before, other people have probably said, well, just use positive affirmations, just use gratitude. And these things can be good. But a lot of times, forcing positive thoughts don't always work. Right? You may have tried it before, telling yourself, oh, I'm happy, I'm okay, I'm stress free. But really, deep down, You're stressed. You're not happy. And this because your body and your mind are disconnected. Your body doesn't really feel happy. It really actually feels that stress or that anxiety. Your brain is saying one thing, but your body is addicted in doing something else. It wants that old state of stress. It wants that old state of anxiety. And when your mind and body are in conflict, what's going to happen is your body will always turn back to what is familiar, to its default state of stress or anxiety. And this is why real change can be hard for us all. So the question we got to ask ourselves is, well, Ryan, how do we actually break free? And I want to go over this in a few steps. We have to realign our mind and our body. And that means, number one, becoming aware of our emotional addiction. We have to ask ourselves, am I stuck in a cycle of stress? Am I stuck in a cycle of shame? We got to become aware of our thoughts and our triggers. What thoughts trigger this emotion? I didn't do well enough. I'm never good enough. And then what am I really feeling? Am I feeling stress? Am I feeling anxiety? What does that feel like? Tension in my chest, tension in my back. What does that feel like to you? You have to be able to get honest with yourself on not just what you're thinking, but also what you're feeling. So know what you're thinking and know what you're feeling so that number two, you can define a new state of being. And this just isn't about thinking new thoughts. Oh, I'm happy. It's about actually feeling that as well. So if you want peace instead of shame, or you want happiness instead of depression, you have to mentally and physically rehearse that new state of being. So remember back to a time when you actually felt happy, when you actually felt peace. And what does that peace or happiness feel inside of your body? Oh, I feel warmness in my chest. Oh, I feel an uplifting sense being light on my feet. And then what thoughts help you feel peaceful? I got everything I needed done today. I accept myself. Whatever these thoughts and these feelings are, you have to rehearse this new state of being, your thoughts and your feelings. Which brings me to number three, you have to practice it daily. You have to actually rewire your brain. You have to repeatedly do something over and over again. Just like I described, I was in a state of shame for 10 years, over and over again, telling myself I deserve to feel this shame. But to step into this new emotional state, whether it be through meditation, visualization, I recommend therapy, it takes intentional time every day to rewire that state of being. And for me, when I was working with the therapist, I had to catch my automatic thought patterns, these automatic loops of shame that I would put myself through, because honestly, it was hard to see at times that I was even shaming myself. And so instead of spiraling into overwhelming thoughts, I learned and changed to stop, acknowledge my efforts, and shift into feelings of acceptance and peace rather than shame, anger, guilt. And it wasn't just mental, right? It was also physical. I had to really sit down and feel what it feels like to be peaceful, intentionally work on what does that feeling of peace feel like? What does that feeling of happiness feel like? And not just think it, not just tell myself you're happy, you're peaceful, but actually I had to train myself to feel it. And one more thing that could help with this is calming the nervous system down. Because when our body is in fight or flight mode, when we're in a state of fear, stress, whatever it may be, it's very hard, almost impossible to create new emotional patterns. If our nervous system or our brain is inflamed from years of stress, years of anxiety, it would be like trying to meditate while you're inside of a hurricane. It just doesn't work. And so we have to calm our nervous system down so that we can then get into feeling these things, into our meditation. When things are difficult, it's hard for us to do meditation if life feels like a storm and there's so much chaos. And this is how Magu can help. If you take Magu, it doesn't necessarily do the meditation for you, but it does help quiet that nervous system down so that you can actually step into yourself and do the work. And for me, even today, I still can get into states of stress. However, when I take Magu, it kind of clears that storm up, quiets that nervous system down so I can finally focus and do my journaling or do my meditation, do my prayers. It helps my body stop overreacting so I can actually sit down, get into that new emotional state, visualize it for myself, and actually feel it. Magu is a support tool. right? And just like how you wouldn't just take pain meds when you broke an ankle and then start running on it without doing physical therapy, you need support, right? So you use Magu as that support tool and you pair it with the mental work, you pair it with the meditation, the visualization, or the therapy so that you can start thinking, feeling, and living differently. So here's my challenge to you. Be honest with yourself. Can you see any emotional addictions that you may have in your life? Are there feelings of stress, shame, whatever it may be, that keep you in that automatic negative loop? If you're not sure, here's a simple way to check. Just audit yourself on a day and be like, what emotions did I feel most often today? Is it helping me? Is it happiness? Is it peace? Or is it holding me back? Am I constantly getting angry at people, stressed out at people? And if it's not helping you, what's the new state of being that you want to be? Is it peace? Is it happiness? Love? What is it for you? It could be different for us all. So take 5 minutes today, sit with yourself, visualize what you want, actually feel it. Then we do it again, day by day. And again, I'll say it one more time, even with a therapist or a trusted person to talk things out. These things don't happen overnight, but the more you practice it, the more you rewire your brain and your reality. And if this resonates with you and you're looking for some extra support on your journey, check out our Magu shop link below, because I do believe that pairing Magu with this emotional and mental work, and with my wife's encouragement to give back to you, our Magu community, as much as possible, I have something special for you. For a limited time, use the code BOX33 to get 33% off your Magu Mindhack box. Again, that's BOX33, BOX33, no spaces. And this is only for the Mindhack box. And it'll still include free shipping. You can buy multiple boxes with this code. So whether you want to stock up for yourself or share it with somebody that you feel can benefit, now's the time to do this. But don't wait, because this coupon I have open through March 8th. So be sure to act on this quickly. And as always, if you just want to talk, if you just want some extra support, you can email me at ryan@magucorp.com. I'd love to hear from you. I love hearing from all your feedback, and just let me know, what are you struggling with? What are you working on for yourself? No pressure, no stress. Just want to have real conversations. We're in this together. So thank you for trusting me today with your time on this video. If you liked it, be sure to like it. If you think someone could benefit, share it with a friend or a loved one. Subscribe for more like this, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.